A man jumped into the ocean holding his friend's girlfriend, but it wasn't until he hit the water that he realized he'd forgotten to lower the ladder and couldn't get back onto the yacht. There was only a baby on board, and now 6 of them were trapped in the water. They tried climbing back up, but the hull was too high and slippery. They couldn't get a grip. In desperation, 3 of them tried using life rings as stepping stones, but the rings were too small and unstable. They even tried grabbing the yacht's flag, but it couldn't support their weight and tore apart. This drove one of the women over the edge. She started screaming, complaining about how cold she was, and even tried snatching someone else's life jacket. The man had to restrain her, which only made everyone else more on edge. Then a phone started ringing from the boat. It was someone's phone in their pocket. It gave them a glimmer of hope, but when they fished out the clothes, the phone was waterlogged and useless. The man threw it into the water in frustration, but just then, they heard an engine nearby. Another yacht was approaching. They shouted and waved their arms frantically for help, but the music on that boat was blaring so loud that the people on board thought they were just waving hello, so they cruised right past without slowing down. Hope shattered once again. That's when the bearded man had a brainstorm. He told everyone to strip off their swimsuits, tie them together like a rope, and toss it up to the yacht. He quickly fashioned the makeshift rope and threw it over the yacht's edge. This time, it worked. Everyone was thrilled. But halfway up, the rope couldn't support the bearded man's weight anymore. It snapped again, and there wasn't enough length left to try again. They'd been in the water so long, they were completely exhausted. The man dove under the yacht, hoping to find another way out. To protect himself from sharks, he held a knife between his teeth, but suddenly, his goggles flooded, and the knife fell. Panicked, he dove down to retrieve it, but pushed too hard and ran out of air. Though he managed to grab the knife, he smacked his head and surfaced dizzy and disoriented. Seeing this, the bearded man grabbed the knife and tried carving a foothold into the hull, but the yacht's owner couldn't take it anymore and immediately stopped him. He tried wrestling the knife away, but in the struggle, he accidentally stabbed the man. Blood turned the water red. The captain's girlfriend, terrified of attracting sharks, panicked and swam off into the distance. Everyone pressed close against the wound, but the bearded man had lost too much blood and passed out. By the time the captain noticed his girlfriend was gone, she'd exhausted all her strength and was slowly sinking to the bottom. Tragically, the bearded man also died in his girlfriend's arms. Heartbroken, the girlfriend decided to swim back to shore. She said goodbye to the others and headed for the coast. Now only the yacht owner and a married couple remained. Do you think they'll survive or die? If you were in this situation, what would you do to stay alive?